Remember, to do this one, we have to have, you can't add subtract unless you have like bases. So you got to figure out how can you, what's the least common denominator to get like bases? Well, if it's 2x and 3x, my lowest common denominator would be 6x.
Okay.
All right, so to get this one to be 6x, I got to multiply top and bottom by 3. So that's going to give me 45. And then 3 times 2x is 6x. Here I have to multiply top and bottom by 2. So it's going to be 32 over 6x. Now I have common denominators, so I can subtract. So that's going to give me 13 over 6x.
Okay.
It's just different with the letters in it is the issue with the variables.
So for the next, what would you do for the next one?
All right, so 8 squared and 8a would be what?
Trying to think. Would you multiply the left by 8 and the right by just a?
Yeah, so our common denominator we need is a squared, 8a squared. Yeah, so we have to multiply this one by 8 and the other side by a. So that would give us 32a, and this would give us 7a. Subtract these, now these are like terms, so that'll give me 25a over 8a squared. Now you can see when we get to this one, now we can reduce a little bit because the a's can cancel. So your final answer should be 25 over 8a. I guess we could have saw that at the beginning. In the original problem, we could have canceled out a and a squared and just had a on the bottom.
Okay.
All right, but either way, I mean, you're gonna have to reduce it somewhere. If we don't catch it at the beginning, we'll catch it at the end. So.
Okay.
I gotta post all stuff in Google Classroom too.
Number 9. You do.
All right, so number 9 again. If I can factor this stuff out, so I can pull out a GCF of 5k minus 10. I can pull out a 5. If I pull a 5 out of that, I'm left with k minus 2. So if you think of it like this, okay. So you can see my lowest common denominator is 5 times k minus 2. So all I got to do is multiply this side, top and bottom, by 5. So I'll get k squared plus 16 over 5, k plus 2, oh, minus 2. Sorry, can't read my own writing. And then over here, 4 times 5 is 20. And here I'm going to leave this just out like that so we can see we have common denominators. So when I go through and combine all this up here, I have 16 minus 20. So I'm going to end up getting k squared minus 4 over 5k minus 2. Now we have to see the, what's that?
Why'd you multiply the 5 on the 4?
Because you got to multiply top and bottom by that number. Same thing like we did over here. We multiply top and bottom by 2, top and bottom by 3.
Oh, okay.
Now, the problem with this one is it's not simplified all the way yet because k squared minus 4 is a difference of squares. So I can make that k minus 2, k plus 2, 5, k minus 2. So you can see my k minus 2s will cancel out. So my final answer is going to be k plus 2 over 5, which I'll write that over here. K plus 2 over 5.
Okay.
It's just a lot of factoring, basically, making sure that we know how to do that. So if there's any type of factoring that we're struggling with, this is going to kind of amplify it, which is not always ideal, but.
Yeah. Then what about number 10?
Number 10. Yeah, let's see if I got other paper.
Oh, I see what I have to do. Factor it all.
Yeah, so factor the bottom right of that, someone right over here. So, for number 10, I have 7. I have y plus 8 plus 5. Now, again, kind of knowing what we know with these problems, I hope this should have a y plus 8, just so you have one like term. So if you look at that, you can see the other one's going to be y plus 3. Right. And remember, if you can't factor that or having issues, just use the snowflake method and it'll work out. So now I know to get over here, my common denominator is these two factors. So on this side, I'm going to have to multiply by y plus 3. Now up top here, I'm not gonna factor it yet since I got room. I'm gonna kind of show all the steps here. Y plus 3, y plus 8. Over here I have plus 35, y plus 8, y plus 3. Okay. So I have common denominators. Now I can combine the tops. So I'm gonna distribute this right here. So I'm gonna get 7y plus 21. Still, I'm going to have y plus 3, y plus 8. And again, you probably won't show all these steps. I just want to work this all the way out. And then 35 over. I'm going to put these in the right order just so we make sure we see they're the same. So now I have like terms, so I can add everything up top. That's just going to give me 7y plus 56 over y plus 3, y plus 8. Now again, this is where you gotta be careful because there's a GCF we can pull out up top. If I pull out this 7, I'm gonna be left with y plus 8 up top. All right, which now I can see those cancel. So my final answer is just 7 over y plus 3.
Oh yeah, you need to multiply both sides by y plus 3. So okay.
See, so this is kind of like the next level of things where we start multiplying by binomials.
All right. I'm gonna do some more problems on the homework then.
Okay, which on the homework from that day?
The homework 5, adding and subtracting rational expressions.
Oh, let me see what I said. Okay. Yeah. Is there any of them you've done yet and want to check, or you want to walk through together? Or?
I'll do a couple and I might have some questions and some.
Okay. So do that. I'm going to get these things pushed over. Sometimes I don't have anything on here. Assignment. Hey, Lucas.
Hey,
What's up, Lucas?
what's up, Cole? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I have headphones and that doesn't have a mic, so I was like, I don't know. So I set up the Google Classroom thing, and how do we? I think I figured it out, but like, how do we submit assignments?
All right, so let me go in. I got none. I don't have anything open yet.
That'll work. Better than what I have.
All right, so let's see which. This is my student account, I think. All right, so I'll look to see first. All right, so you are in there. All right, so when you're on here, basically all of the assignments are these dark gray ones.
Yeah.
So if you click on this, you go down here to view assignment. Okay, and once you click on that, it'll open this window up. And now on the top right here, where it says your work, you can add and create. So I can add, and you can go through on whatever file you have it saved at.
Oh yeah.
So I can select files, and then maybe let me.
And I submitted one for the 17th
Yeah.
over email. Did you get that?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so don't have to worry about that. So basically, yeah, so when you upload it, now you can go through here. You have to make sure you click turn in though, because I've had people add it but not turn it in.
Makes sense.
Once you turn in and submit it, when you go back to the assignments, it'll switch that other color of gray. That means you turn it in.
Okay.
So then you'll look through here, and the only ones you have to turn in are the ones that are the dark colors. So yeah, if you if you submitted the one on the 16th, you should be able to go through here. You should just mark it as done.
Oh yeah.
And when I look at it and see you submitted it without attaching anything, I'll know to look back at my email.
Will do.
So that's all I'm doing right now is trying to go through and put in just grades for those assignments. We can't put those in the grade book yet, but at least I'll have some type of reference and notes of what you all have been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And you said you have your docking camera?
yeah. That's what we're on right now. Cole's working on some of this. This is the homework from, I think, yesterday that wants to do it today.
Yeah. You mind if I go get that real quick?
Yeah, whatever you got to work on. We can go over some problems.
Okay, so I'm a little confused on number 6.
Number 6?
Yeah, 'cause number 8 on the notes. It was based on on number 6 on the homework. It's flipped, so I don't know what to do because like I know how to get rid of the Y's on the right part, but not.
Okay, so
Hold on.
going through this, let me see. Once so it gets real shaky here. All right, so number 6. All right, so going through this, first thing is the left side's broken down. The 8 side I need to do some factoring. So y minus 8 minus. So up top, is there a GCF? Can I pull out a 6? No. The GCF is 6 and 80. What's my calculator at? I guess it has to be 2. It can't be 3 or 4. All right, so if I pull out a 2 up here, I have 3y plus 40. So again, I don't know. I don't even think I really need to do that. I probably should just left that as is. But now the bottom is a difference of squares, so I know I can do y minus 8, y plus 8. So when I see that, I know I have a y minus 8 here and here. So I just need that y plus 8 on both sides. So I'm going to multiply this by y plus 8, y plus 8. Okay. So over here, that's going to give me y times y is y squared, y times 8 is 8y. Then over here, I'm going to have my y minus 8, y plus 8. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in there just because I didn't need to pull it out. I think it'll be easier if it's left like this. All right, and then on the bottom, I have my y minus 8, y plus 8. Okay. So now I have common denominators. So now I can subtract the tops. Now this is where we gotta be careful. I don't think we practiced one on the notes yet where there's a subtraction sign. So what this tells me is I have y squared plus 8y minus parentheses 6y plus 80. And that's over your y minus 8, y plus 8. Because remember, we have to take this negative sign, we have to distribute it. Okay. Some of you probably do that in the same, you can do that in the same step without rewriting the step, but I just wanted to make sure that we see it. So that's going to give us y squared plus 8y. That becomes a minus 6y now, and that becomes a minus 80. And that is all over y minus 8, y plus 8. Okay, it gets a little tedious writing that y minus 8 plus 8, but we'd rather leave it like that so we can factor it later on. Combine like terms here. We have y squared plus 2y minus 80 over y minus 8, y plus 8. Okay, so what we have to start seeing here is at the end, especially if this is a trinomial, we're probably going to need to factor it. Okay, if we factor that, that factors out to what's that? Y plus 10 and y minus 8. All right, and then that shows us that we can cancel out our y minus 8s. So my final answer is going to be y plus 10 over y plus 8.
All right.
Again, this is expanded, like showing every single step, so it hopefully shouldn't take you that much room to do it, but. Lucas, you have any questions?
What about number 1?
On this one?
Yes, sir.
All right, so the main thing is you can't add and subtract unless you have common denominators. So you could break it down piece by piece, but it's easier just to do it all the way through. Okay, so 6, 12, and 9, what's my lowest common denominator, or my least common multiple?
3.
No, that all of them go into.
Oh,
So what number can you divide by 6, divide by 2, and divide by 9? The easiest way to do this is if you take the biggest number of them, so take 9, and just do your multiples of 9. So we have 9, 18, 27, 36. and find the smallest one that 2 and 6 also go into. 9 doesn't work, right? What about 18? Can I divide 18 by 6 and 2?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to make 18 my denominator on all of these. Okay. Now, what do I multiply 6 by to get 18?
3.
So I had to multiply top and bottom by 3. So 3 times 7y will give me 21y. What did I multiply 2 by to get 18? Sorry. So that's going to be times 9. 9 times y on top gives me 9y. This last one, to get 9 to become 18, I had to multiply top and bottom by 2. So that'll give me 4y. So we changed the denominators to make sure they're all the same, but we also have to multiply the numerators to get the different numbers also. But now we can go through and we can do all the math. So now if you write this out as one big problem, that's all it says. These are all like terms up top, so we can combine them. 21 minus 9 gives me 12. 12 plus 4 gives me 16. So I have 16y over 18. Now, last step, though, that's not simplified. We can divide both these by 2. So when we divide by 2, we get 8y over 9.
Makes sense.
So for number 7, would you, I got 9x plus 6 over x minus 2, x plus 2. What I did was I got the 2x minus 4, I turned that into x minus 2 and x plus 2.
Okay, so on this first one then, we're going to do the 6x. This is difference of squares, so you got x plus 2, x minus 2. So that shows you over here that I need that x plus 2 still. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by x plus 2. Okay. The same thing we did up here where we multiplied by 2, top and bottom by 2, but here it's a binomial, so you got to multiply by both. I'm going to go ahead and distribute this. That gives me 3x plus 6. And now this is over your x plus 2, x minus 2. All right, and then from there, we can combine like terms on top. So this is going to give me 6x minus 3x minus 6. Remember, when there's a subtraction sign here, you have to subtract this one and then distribute it to that 6 also. Instead of writing it out like we did up here, I just kind of saved a little room here. This is x plus 2, x minus 2 still. Combine like terms up here, we get 3x minus 6 over x plus 2, x minus 2. Again, technically done, but we need to simplify still. I have a GCF up here. I can pull out a 3. If I pull out a 3, that leaves me with x minus 2. Remember, we only want to go through and do this step if that gives us a common factor that we can cancel out. So cancel and cancel. So it's 3 over x plus 2. Oh, sorry. Can't see that. So I should do that.
Wait, why is the 3 still there? Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah,
I
pulled it
understand.
out.
Yeah, no. And the one, number 8, this one is easier where you just multiply the right side by w.
Okay,
Right.
you can do that. Kind of another way to do this. Again, if you going through and did it that way, that's fine. Okay, but if I pull a W out of this denominator, so if I have 3W and then I pull a W out, so I got W minus 4. Okay. Now, that kind of shows you in a multiply, but if you also realize that you can cancel those W's out, right, if I cancel those out, I already have common denominators, right? And now I can just do 3 minus 1, so I can get 2 over W minus 4 as my answer.
Okay, let's do that. All right. Yeah.
Again, going through and multiplying by the W on both sides, you'll go through and get the same answer.
Yeah, we had to factor at the end.
Yeah, you'd end up getting 2W squared over that and have to pull out W from both of them. So you get the same spot. It's just one way it's a little smoother if you can catch it.
And here, I have a question on a completely different
Yeah.
homework. The unit 4 test review.
Yeah.
Like number 30, I don't understand how to do those problems.
All right. Actually, the best way is probably just pull it up here so I can see it. Unit 4 test review.
Yeah.
What day was that?
The 19th, it's down a little bit.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. The one thing I don't have organized on my papers on here, so I'm not sure. What number?
30.
30.
Quickly, what if there's no more numerator, just the denominator?
There'd be a 1 up top.
Okay.
Cool. I like your icon picture.
Thank you. We were I was doing another Zoom, and people were changing their backgrounds to like a beach background. So I just got a picture of Peter Griffin with the beach in the background.
All right, so write a polynomial function get of the least degree with the integral coefficients that has given zeros. So let's see. So 30. So we got 1, 5, -3. All right, so on this problem, if I know these are my zeros and my solutions, what does that mean? That means I have this one would have to be x minus 1. Okay. Because remember, when you have this, you set that equal to 0 and you add 1 on both sides and you find out that x equals 1. All right, so we're just kind of working it backwards now. So again, this is positive 5. This is going to have to say x minus 5. Minus 3, x plus 3. So this is what's going to give me my polynomial. I just have to multiply it out. I have to expand it. All right, so when you do that, I'm going to go ahead and just do those two first. All right, so we go through and we FOIL distribute x times x, x squared, x times -5 minus 5x. -1 times x minus 1x, and -1 and -5 gives us a positive 5. All right, so combine like terms. I get x squared minus 6x plus 5. And I still have that x plus 3 out here. Now I have to go through and FOIL again. So I'm going to go through x squared times x gives me x cubed. X squared times 3 gives me 3x squared. I have to do this middle term. -6x times x is minus 6x squared. Minus 6x times 3 is minus 18x. Last term here, 5 times x is 5x. And 5 times 3 is 15. Combine like terms, I get x cubed minus 3x squared minus 13x plus 15. And that would be your answer for that one.
That makes sense. So it's just factoring pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question on back on the their homework.
Uh-huh.
For number 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that subtract? Is that saying that I need to subtract like the second part with? So there's how I look at this is there's three parts. There's the one outside the parentheses, the
Uh-huh.
one on the left side, and the one on the third side.
Yeah.
So would you subtract? Would you work on the first and second one first?
Well, you have to do follow your order of operations.
Oh, so
So you
okay,
have
so
to
I just put it
practice
inside.
first.
Okay. Yeah. 18, 3 and 6. X minus 3, X plus 6.
It has to be.
And while you're on the homework, what about the questions for 18 and 19? Like at the bottom of the page you're on right now?
Yeah.
I would like those two. When it says bonus, do we have to do those?
You should.
Okay. Well, could you work one of them out for us?
All right. So for question 18, write an expression in simplest form that makes each statement. Oh, so this is completely separate from that 18 and 19. Okay, so those aren't connected.
Yeah.
These are just 18 and 19 before we change the numbers, so that number should be changed. All right, but to go through here then. What's the best way to go through that? So, all right, so we can work this backwards though. So remember, if I'm solving an equation, say if I had, here we're doing a substitute paper real quick. If I had x plus 15 equals 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
To solve that, I would subtract this on both sides. Okay, so that's the same thing we're going to do here. Go ahead and just subtract this term on both sides. So I'm going to subtract 15a squared over of a squared plus 8a. Is that the best? That's not the best way to do that, is it?
These make more sense now.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so this will be the best way to do it. What's my common denominator here? It would be
I just nodded and I went.
4a.
And they were like,
So I gotta multiply.
I went over and I opened the door, grabbing it, and it's stormy, and I was like,
Look, your sister's loud.
Do what?
Your sister's loud.
Summer, he said you're allowed to be quiet.
oh, sorry. Sorry, alien.
All right, so what you have to see here is I need to multiply this by 4a to get the same denominator, common denominators. So when I do that, I basically have x over 12a squared plus 8a equals 28a squared over 12a squared plus 8a minus. Now when we do the math here, that got kind of just subtract that, we get 13a squared, and that's going to be our answer. All right, so we have 9r minus 12 r squared minus 16 All right, so first thing to notice on this one is we have that multiplication. So there's no sense creating like denominators if we're going to multiply and mess those up anyways. So we focus on this part first. I think probably the best idea would be try to reduce first. So if I look at this, I know down here I can pull out a 5r, and I'm left with an r plus 3, right? And over here, I have 15r squared, and I can pull out an r and have r plus 4. Okay, because if I do that, I can see these cancel each other out. I can see that this r and this r will cancel out. I can also see that this 15 and 5 can reduce and give me a 3. So really what I'm looking at, I have left here is 1 over r times 3 over r plus 4. So when I multiply it out, I'm just going to have 3, and I'm going to leave this like it is just because. All right, so that's what I have left from that side. And I still have 9r minus 12 over. I'm going to go ahead. I know this is difference of squares. So I want to do r plus 4, r minus 4. I'm trying to think. I messed up somewhere. Okay, I see. Did I? Yeah, so this, when I wrote 15r squared, I forgot my squared. So that r will cancel this one out and this one out. So I don't have an r down here anymore. Sorry, I missed that.
Okay.
Because there's r squared up here, that cancels this one and this one. This leaves me 1 over 1 over here, which just gives me 3 over r plus 4. And I'm subtracting still. So now I can see with my denominators, I need this on both sides. So I'm going to do r minus 4, r minus 4. So when I rewrite this, it's going to give me 9r minus 12 over r plus 4, r minus 4, minus, I'm going to go ahead and FOIL this out here. So this is going to give me 3r minus 12, and I'm over r plus 4, r minus 4. I'm going to go ahead and combine the tops, take into account for this the subtraction. So I have 9r minus 12 minus 3r plus 12. And this is all over your r plus 4, r minus 4 still. When I combine like terms up top, 9r minus 3r leaves me with 6r. The 12s cancel each other out. So I have 6r over r plus 4, r minus 4. And that should be your answer. Well, on these ones, make sure you're showing all your work. That way, because when I look over them, I mean, I can try to see your steps. That way, if you made a mistake, we can see where it was. Because there's so many places to make a mistake on this. I mean, my mistake was on just rewriting 15r squared and not forgetting the squared. So it's a lot to do.
Okay, then also 16 as well.
16, all right. All right, so 16, I got addition, I got parentheses, and I have division. So 16, b plus 3 over b plus 2 plus 6 minus 8 divided by So parentheses first, so I need to address these. I can't do that unless I have common denominators. Now with this, I mean, there's no factoring to be done here, so you're just going to have to multiply. I got a red pen. Multiply this side times v minus 8, v minus 8. And I'm going to multiply this side by v plus 2, v plus 2. So when I do that, I have v minus 8, v plus 3. I'm going to go ahead and multiply this out. 6 times v is 6v. 6 plus 2, 6 times 2 is 12. And again, we have our v minus 8 and v plus 2. Okay. Now I'm going to have to FOIL this out. So that's going to give me v squared. That is 3v and 8v. So that's going to give me a minus 5v and then minus 24. And I know I'm adding this to it, 6v plus 12, because I have my common denominators now. Combine like terms. I have v squared, negative 5, positive 6 is plus 1v, and then minus 12. And v plus 2. Now, one thing here, again, as a trinomial, I should think about factoring it. It does factor to v plus 4 and v minus 3. Now, that doesn't help me right here, okay, because all these terms are different. But we still have this other part sitting up top that we're going to bring down and factor. So it's good to have those factored out ahead of time. All right, so I'm going to bring this all the way down here. Now, if you remember from the other day when we divided, you have to change that to multiplication, and we have to flip this over. So that means my 2v squared plus 5v is on top, and my 2v squared plus 9v plus 4 is on the bottom. Now again, odds are from the practice we've done on this, these two are going to factor. Oh, you got lost.
Yeah, no, my internet was starting to crap out.
Oh, you're right. All right, so I don't know where I lost you at.
We were, it was at the, yeah, that step right there.
All right, so I got my like denominators, and then I multiplied through 6 up here, so I got 6v plus 12. Here, I did it in 2 steps. But when I FOILed this out, I got v squared minus 5 minus 24. And I just combined like terms to get this. Now, I went ahead and factored this. Even though it didn't help me cancel anything here, it will later on, I'm sure. So if you have a trinomial, factoring out, it's not going to hurt anything. All right, so then this is divisions. So I changed it to multiplication. And when I brought this down, I flipped it over. I did the reciprocal. All right, so that's where I'm at now. Now, the next thing I have to do is I have to factor these. Because again, odds are when I factor them, there's some factors that can cancel out. Now, we could go through and multiply it all out and then try to do it at the end, but those numbers are going to be huge by the end. So, all right, so I'm going to do the snowflake over here. So we have 2 times 2. We have 4v squared. And this is 2v, 2v, and this it has to be a 5v here. So factors of 4 that add to 5 has to be 1 and 5. So I get 2v plus 1. These reduce up here. Give you v over 2. Give you a v plus 2. Now I'll do the bottom one here. 2, that gives me 8v squared and 9. And 2v, 2v. Again, this has to be an 8 and a 1. These cancel out to a 1 and a 4. So I get 2v plus 1 again, and I get v plus 4. Okay. So all I did here was factor this and factor this. Now I still have this out front. All right, so it gets real messy, but again, we can start canceling things out since it's multiplied. My v plus 4's cancel out. My v plus 2 cancel out. And even these 2v's plus 1 cancel out. So this is all I have left is v minus 3 over v minus 8. Oh, it doesn't even have anything?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's not really important that we factor the tops.
Well, no. Well, once you, if you, what I did was after I got the, on the right side, if we're adding them together, then it would be a 3w squared plus 7w minus 6. And then you can get that to 18, and then it would be negative 18, so then you can do negative 2, positive 9, and you get 7.
Okay. So that's how it works out a little better. All right, so 8w squared minus 9, so is negative 8, negative 1, 2w, 2w. 7. And 15 is 3 and 5. Yes. So this is what we got for that second term, Cole. W minus 4, 2w minus 1, w minus 5, 2w minus 1.
For which part?
Just this factored out. 2w squared. No, that's my signs aren't right. 2w minus 1. Oh, this should be w plus 5.
Yeah, I got w plus 5.
Okay. All right, so from there, I can go ahead and cancel those out. And I see the term I'm missing is w minus 3. There's nothing that factors out there. 7. No, I can't. Oh, I don't got to multiply that side. I got to multiply this side. Good. Scared myself for a minute. All right, so 3w squared plus 7w minus 7. Now, when I multiply this out, it's going to be w squared minus w minus 12. Now I can combine like terms up top. I get 4w squared plus 6w minus 19. That is over w plus 3, w plus 5. I'm multiplying that by this. All right, well, this is 419 business. 4 times 19, 76. 6, 4W, 4W. Negative 76, so they have to have a difference of this. $76. 419. That's only a difference of 15. That's 6. 38. No. All right, so either none of this works or I made a mistake somewhere.
I didn't. Add the W squared minus W or minus 12 onto the left side. I just got the 1 from doing all that stuff on the right, and then I just added that 1 to the left side at the end. So I factored the right side first.
Oh yeah, you're right. Crap. Yep. So that was my mistake because I can't even do that yet, can I? Yeah, you're right, because I went and did my addition first before my multiplication. This should have been our first step right here. All right. I was thinking there was parentheses around it like the last ones, but it wasn't. All right, so we factored, we got to this step. Where's this paper at? I don't know if I have any, do I? Oh, man. All right, so we did all our simplification, so that's fine. So we have our 3W squared plus 7W minus 7, W plus 3, W plus 5. We simplified this, we factored it out, we got it to say W minus 4 over W plus 5. And now we're going to multiply it by this. Okay, this will make it a lot easier. All right, so that was our problem. We had to do this first, which if I would have saw that, those would cancel. So all we're left with, right, is 1 over W plus 5, W plus 3, which is the exact same thing we already have on the bottom. Yep. Oh. All right, so now we already have common denominator, so now you can just add the 1. So you're right. So it's 3W squared plus 7W minus 6 over W plus 3, W plus 5. All right, so the only question remaining then is if this is factorable. That's what, negative 18, 3W, 3W, 7, 2 and 9. Positive 9, negative 2. So 3, so that gives us a W plus 3 and a 3W minus 2. Which we can see we'll cancel those out. So our final answer is 3W minus 2 over